So, tonight's stream is going to be talking about the game a little bit. I'm going to kind of go over every screen and, well, talk about what's there, I guess. I did not take good notes, so this will be a little disorganized. Where's the little notes that I took here? They are. Yeah, I did not take good notes, so this is going to be pretty disorganized, but at least I'm giving some thoughts and some feedback on the game, intended for, you know, the people that made it. Excuse me. So anyway, yeah. I guess I'd like to start off by, we'll just give a thanks to the team at Square Enix for the access to the closed beta. It's been a fun week. Well, it's almost been a week. It's gonna be a week tomorrow, but it's been pretty fun, you know. And you know, I really set aside some time to give it a proper, you know, go over. So anyway, the game itself. Dragon Quest Smash Go. I guess start overall. Just overall experience has been good. It's a really fun game to play. Any gripes that I have are pretty minor. But I'll address them. I guess I'll just address them as I go. So, starting with the camp screen. Actually, we could even go back from there, right? Hold on. I just now noticed you could do that. That's funny. Oh, can you not go back to title screen? Let's go back to title screen real quick. I'm just going to close out the app. We're going to go back to title screen. We'll start there. Cool logo, by the way. I like that a lot, especially you see the ooze of the slime trailing as it's being slammed back. I guess there's really not too much to say on the home screen. It's got everything you'd expect, you know, your full data download, which I got a cache, but you can't do in the closed beta, obviously. But, yeah, pretty useful feature. I guess I could, excuse me, I guess I could have prefaced this with the type of device I'm using. It'll come up, so I might as well say it now. I'm just using a Cricket Innovate 5G. It's an older phone. It's got like 4 gigs of RAM. I don't even know what kind of processor. The game has had performance issues on it. Probably because I'm on the lower end of their expected specs. I'll get more into that as it actually comes up, because, you know, I'm sure there'll be an example of it. But anyways, everything else here is pretty typical stuff. The media, social media is in the contact for bug reports, which I haven't really used. But I do have a lot of recordings of all the bugs I've run into, as I've been streaming it a lot. But anyway. Oh, excuse me, man, I'm making all sorts of sounds and noises. First thing. This is cool. Just the character standing there, like, throwing a pose. It's cool. I like this. I like this a lot. You know. But yeah, like I said, there's not really much to say. It's all pretty typical stuff, you know. It's just showing you your currencies, gifts, features, passes, you know. I guess we could talk about some of the actual substance here. We'll get to Smash Pass when we get to the swap shop, because it's kind of all that's for. But, you know, you got your typical things that get you resources, you know, your weeklies, your dailies, and then just, you know, event stuff. You've got your, you know, normal quests that you just happen to accomplish over time. You know, you got your cheat your feat sheets, which are pretty nice. Well, you can't go back, can you? Wait, yeah, no, there's the arrow. Look with your eyes. So yeah, you get your, these are really nice, especially when the game first opens up. Gives you some things to, like, work towards. I know definitely, like, maybe not the 10S rank one was, like, probably the hardest thing to do, but, like, when I saw the stamp to, like, complete, chapter 3, I'm like, okay, well, I guess now's a good enough time to do that. So it kind of gives you a little bit of direction, and that's always good, especially since there were definitely times playing this, felt a little directionless. Like, it's like, man, there's just so much to do, and I have no idea which one's going to get me forward, forward with the rest of it. But, that kind of helps. Is like, oh, well, I have a reward over here, so I might as well do that event instead. I'm not going to hit the events because we'll see events under quests. But we'll do the drone search, which, how much time I got in this? Oh, yeah, I can read it up here. It says in progress in about 3 hours, so we won't see what comes of this. But this, it's nice. It's kind of nice to have something that's outside of the gameplay that you just come back and check on every once in a while, This was a great way for me to get certain memories, which we'll get more into memories probably on the edit page. But yeah, it's a good way to get some resources. Just passively get resources, which it kind of helps, and it also helps with the decision paralysis of what to do next, because it's like, well, I got these resources to help level me up to this point. Anyway, so the adventure log, this is pretty cool. The cover there with your character on it, it looks cool. I just like that, which we'll actually get into more of the character stuff on the edit page as well, but a little preface to that is my favorite Dragon Quest games are the ones that you get to customize your characters and stuff, and I like that. I just like that a lot, and so that kind of gets me, being able to, like, show off my characters like that. It's like, dude, look how cool I look. Look how cool I am. Anyway. So, you get your typical stuff here. So, like, your rewards for doing the fetch quest, the idle fetch quest, I'll call it, which are really good rewards. So that's pretty generous stuff there, and it's basically just a compendium of, like, what you have in inventory at the moment, your adventure rank, and what adventure rank rewards you still have to obtain. Which it looks like after you hit a certain point. Yeah, like, you hit 16 and it's like there's nothing else really going on, like 16's like the content cap, if you will. Not too much to say here, really. I mean, this is pretty typical stuff for mobile games, so, I mean, you don't love or hate it. It's just kind of it's a thing, memories, and then, here's where you get rewards for collecting memories, which we'll get more into memories on the edit page. But I like these. These are cool because, the monster design of Dragon Quest is, well, it's iconic, and it's fun to collect them. It always is. So, a good way to put the monster collecting into the game. I don't think I've ever hit miscellaneous. Okay, this is just, yep, miscellaneous information if you need it. Legal information, gem information, language, blah, blah, blah. Your settings. Which, I will say, I don't think... So there's, like, these options here for graphics, basically. I might add here maybe an option, maybe some more graphic options, because, like I have said before, I have had performance issues on this one. Yeah, and yeah, I'm probably on the lower end again of the phone specs that, is expected of someone playing this game, but even still, like, a game this big, it's not terribly big. I think it was like a gig, maybe 2 gig download. I don't know, I just don't feel like it should be eating all 4 of my gigs of RAM. And maybe there can be a graphic option there. Maybe there's just back-end stuff that could be optimized. I don't have the full picture of that though, so. But what I wanted to get to was maybe another graphics option to kind of help performance, because especially when the screen starts getting cluttered, you start to notice, and maybe it'll happen while I'm streaming tonight. It has happened before, but maybe it'll happen again. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the page here. Kind of tap around. You got your banners on the bottom, which, I mean, we'll get to those in due time. Nice page. We'll go to quest. So the meat of the game, really. The content of the game. The story. The events. Your training modes, which... 7 seconds... Oh, cool. I get to play that again. The shrines and, the co-op, which is tied to the event. Which just turned live. I just literally watched that become live. That's funny. There are a few things I'd like to say, though. I skipped through a lot of the story, so I'm not going to comment on the story at all. I'm sure it's fine. But I did that because, I set aside time to play the game, but I didn't feel like I had enough, so I was like, I better just play through this story. And, oh, that's right, there's going to be a new event, too. We'll get there. Yeah, so I just skipped through the story, because I just wanted to get through the content, But from what I've seen, it's still image cutscenes with text dialogue, Which, I mean, that's how Dragon Quest does it, so no complaints there. As far as the missions for stories, most of them are par for the course. Clear the stage within a time limit, don't die, don't be bad, I guess now is a good time as any to talk about the stamina system. I strongly dislike stamina systems, mostly because, like, if I've got the time to play and I've set aside the time to play, I don't know, I just don't feel like being restricted by a stamina resource on what I can do with that time. Like, I get it. There's balancing reasons and such, and a lot of the game's honestly built around it, which I can go into now. We'll get to shortly. But you can tell with we'll just get into it. The ticket training events, a way to circumvent the stamina trials that can be done. Oh, cool. So we'll be getting that soon. The trials that can be done without, that's even without stamina or anything, so that's cool. They're done without stamina. The co-op that's done without stamina, and even the slime event here, the trial of that is done without stamina as well. So I mean, there's kind of an economy here, if you will, with the stamina. So I understand it's not as simple as just like, I don't like stamina, don't have it, but make it a little, maybe a little easier. Maybe either more stamina, or more, I mean, I would say more potions, but maybe when the full game's out, there'll just be more potions, Maybe I'll be drowning in them soon, and that won't even be an issue. In the closed beta, it kind of has been, because it's like I've only had so many, and I've used every single one of them. And a lot of that, which I can get into now, is because of randomness of some of the events. So, like, for example, I was just farming this memory here on this stage, because it's a really good memory. And, I mean, I've used all my potions on it, and I'm stuck on that now. It's like I have 18 stamina, and then the refills happen, so I might be doing that. And it's like, well, great. Now I have to, now I have to spend gems to refill stamina instead of using the gems on really what they're for, which would be the Gacha. You know, the thing we'll get to much later. So that's kind of my gripe about it. About stamina altogether. But yeah. That and quick quests. I can understand limiting quick quests so many times. Actually, I kind of don't. I also don't like the limit on that too, but because you're already limited on stamina, and I've like, because you know, before the stream I even like, how much time did I spend on that quest watching someone else play a game? Like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, just like auto playing this quest, you know, just for a thing. Like, just if I've got the stamina, let me quick quest through it, you know. I guess I could say like an overall philosophy, and maybe it's just mine, you know, maybe it's just my philosophy, yeah. But you know, I feel like just some things you just need to respect the player's time, you know, because not everyone has unlimited. Well, no one has unlimited time, but some people just have less than others to spend on these things, and just small things like limiting how many quick quests you can do per day, limiting how much stamina you have. You know, the stamina limit is a real limit on what you can do on the game. So, you know, kind of respect the time we put in, and give us a little bit, I guess, in some sense, in these regards. There's definitely other regards in the game that are very generous, which we'll get to in time, but this is probably my biggest gripe with the game, is the stamina system and the quick quests. It's really, I mean, I get you're grinding for a material, you know, but how much time do you really want your players grinding for a single memory as opposed to doing some of the other content of the game, you know? And I feel like quick quests are a way that players can quickly try and make attempts, you know, and then get to the other content that was made in the game, because that's kind of how I've been wanting to use it. I'll use it right now, actually. How much do I need? We'll just do 3 for now. I do like the animation, that's kind of fun. Yeah, I didn't even hit. I didn't even get one. It's just fine. I mean, I understand it's a rare, you know, it's a rare item. The rarity of those things are fine. It's just that now, if I want to do that again, I actually have to play the quest, and you know, I don't exactly want to have to play stage 15 of chapter 2, you know, 300 times or something to get something. Which actually brings me to another point. Since we're on a downhill climb of griping. Let me find a quest that does it. I think this one. Alright, this is the one thing that I would actually ask to be removed. The other things are like gripes, maybe small changes to numbers, how much a player is given, you know, but not removal of the feature at all. This here, defeat the mini demon and clear the stage, that's not cool. Okay, if you want to talk about a waste of time, because their spawn rate's random, and from what I understand, it is random, not in your favor. Very low chance of it happening. Well, not very low. I think I heard someone say 1 in 8, which that sucks. You got to play this stage 8 times for, you know, a statistical chance to see a mini demon just to get that star and clear. Like, no, that's not a good use of time at all. It's not at all. I can understand maybe if I'm grinding for the memory, that the memory is hard to get, you know, because it's good, and the good things should be harder to get. But just to fight the enemy to get a single star on my stage, no, that's... I was lucky. I got it pretty quick. But some people... Actually, there was one. I was grinding a different stage. I think it was up here. I want to say it was this one. Yeah, I was actually grinding this stage for this memory, the mummy memory, right? And I probably did this stage 20 or 30 times before I actually saw the enemy itself and got that star. Like, that's bad. That was not a good experience. So, please don't do more of those. Yeah, I think we move on from here, because everything else is pretty self-explanatory. I think I've gone over pretty much everything to do with the story. The gem amounts are pretty generous, and I'm thankful for that, actually. Which, maybe we'll get more into gems when we get to the Transmuter, but that is, you know, story's the best place to get gems, obviously, and especially with 2 modes of it. And I feel like it's a pretty generous amount of them, so that's pretty cool. Okay, moving on. Events are awesome, especially this event was so much fun, especially the co-op. I'm just going to talk about the co-op now, because the co-op was my favorite part of this game. Like, hands down favorite part of this game. The co-op is so much fun. It doesn't, like, especially the first time we tried it, which might have been like night 3, I think is when it went live. And we just got completely demolished. But it was so much fun to try, you know, and find out, like, our weak points in our party, and then come back the next night and completely destroy it. And I was like, dude, that's so cool, you know, to see our characters progress through that. And it was just a lot of fun. And I feel like co-op's really important for these type of mobile games, especially compared to that of competitive, or PvP, I mean. Because PvP really brings out the worst of people, and then that really just becomes your wallet versus their wallet, basically, and that always sucks. Co-op's a lot of fun because it kind of brings people together. Your community shares a lot of good memories, and then your community also gets to share strategies with each other, and it's just really cool. You know, it's a great way to build community. I do have one gripe. I said there were no more. I do have one gripe. And maybe it's just a beta test thing, which that's possible. But the timer. Like, you can only play it for an hour, and then it's like, well, I think it's actually 2 hours. It's basically on and off in 2-hour intervals. And I ran into this every stream since it's been out, where I get on, I start my stream, and my plan was, I'm like, I'm going to do co-op first. You know, let's just hop right into co-op, because that's super fun. You know, and I'd be on the Discord trying to get people on, and then it's like, oh no, you gotta wait. Sorry, you gotta wait an hour. And I was like, oh, but I wanted to do co-op. You know. So, and again, maybe that's a beta test thing. Maybe there won't be that time limit in the launch. I hope not, because it's fun. Otherwise, most fun part of the game is co-op, for sure. And then having a little side story with an event, you know, that's pretty typical of these things, and this is great. This is actually the sneakiest place, but the best place to actually grind out certain memories and stuff, and get some good materials from the trial, because, you know, getting into the trial is, you have to play the story to get into the trial, or do the co-op to get into the trial, and the trial gives you really cool rewards, which I haven't done all of yet, but I've got pretty much everything I want here. And then you get this, which gives crazy good rewards, and that was a lot of fun. Again, I did not pay attention to the story behind this. I have no idea what's going on, but it's cool. We'll get to shrines, though, because that's actually another tab down. But the co-op was really good. The events are fun. Oh, yeah, I haven't even talked about the Gauntlet yet. The Gauntlet's probably my second favorite part. As you can see, I put a little bit of time in. My rank has dropped a little, though. Some of the people on this Discord are really, really stepping up their game, and But this is the fun kind of competitive here. Okay, so we're not. It's still PVE, you know, player versus PVE, player versus environment. But you know, the community, instead of cooperating, can compete a little bit here. And I've been watching that firsthand on the Discord, and that's been a lot of fun actually. And me trying myself, like this here's really like the true late game of Dragon Quest Smash Grow is right here. Optimizing your character builds, which we'll get to. Optimizing your characters and like really pushing to see how far you can get. You know, it's a 10-minute timer on the hard mode, you know, and yeah, you know, it's just so much fun. It's like, how far can I get? Can I even survive the 10 minutes? Do I survive? And if I do, it's like, could I get a better score than that? Like, what if... this part here has really got me thinking about the synergies between my characters and their equipment and their memories. Like, this has gotten me to engage the most with the game. Maybe it should be my favorite, because it really has gotten me to engage so much. But it's hard to top co-op. Co-op's really fun. But anyway, so that's the events. Those are fun. Maybe after my review, I'll try to get a higher score here. Training. Let's do a little bit of training here. But you know, this is typical stuff. Now, base training takes stamina. So that's kind of at odds with, well, not really at odds, but, you know, it really makes you make the decision. It's like, okay, I only have 150 stamina, and in this game, you could do 10 quests with 150 stamina, right? And then you have to spend gems or use potions. I already talked about stamina. But, or you can circumvent that. So this is where it's like stamina's interwoven into this system. It's not going anywhere. But you can circumvent the stamina with tickets. And acquiring these isn't too hard. You just, you know, do the events, you play the game to get these things. So I'm not complaining too much about it. You know, actually, no, there was one complaint. And it's this one here, I believe. Because they're all a little bit different. Like, okay, so the weapon one, you kill as much as you can. You know, certain monsters are worth more points. Like the money bag up there is worth more points. You know, the armor one's interesting because you have to defend an objective to get better score. You know, which that's cool. And the money grab one is like, again, you kill the specific monster. And this one's watching out. You got to watch out for the exploding monsters. Which, I mean, okay. This is starting to lean into my problem, though. That one's not so bad. It's this one that really gives me a gripe. And as you can see on the top of the screen here, it says, beware of invincible foes to increase your score. Okay. It's kind of annoying. Like... So, to me, these type of training quests, aside from the metal slimes, which we'll talk about them, the training quest, though, shouldn't be hard or a challenge. You're literally there just to get resources, and you're already, you know, you're already spending resources either via stamina or via tickets to take part in these events. Like, they're not free. It's not free to get weapon ore in this game. Okay, you have to you have to spend a resource to get a resource here. And I don't want to be fighting against something, avoiding some, like, I don't want to have to put so much skill and effort. I know it's not a lot, you know, it's like 1 and then maybe 2, and then I think a third one shows up if you happen to kill enough. But I don't want this. Man, this thing's really squeaking in my ear. I don't want the skill issue, or not skill issue. I don't want so much skill going into the grind part, if you will. Like, this is just here to make me stronger. you know. I don't want to have to wrestle around something. And then, like, yeah, the bombs are kind of there on the money grab one. It's not so bad, though, because they're kind of part of it. You kill them, and you also get points, so it's like, okay, I mean, like, I need to kill you anyway, so I better do it before you kill me. But this one's just like, I have to avoid this guy, and, like, some of the issue with that is, when you're using your Coop de Grace, it auto-targets to, like, the closest thing to you, and sometimes it's that silly Great Saber Cat that's jumping into your face, and it's like, well, there goes my Coop de Grace. Cool. You know? And then maybe that makes me miss the A rank or something, and I get just slightly less rewards. I don't know. I know. It's not very big, but it's like, come on. Now, you can lump the metal slimes into that as well. Okay. But I definitely give metal slimes a pass. Obviously because they're iconic to the series. It's kind of their stish to be hard to kill, you know. And actually, they're not even that hard to kill in this. You know, let's do it because I'm here. And I want to. Because I'm trying to reach level 32 anyway, and I probably won't. But, you know, it's kind of their thing to be killed, difficult to kill. And I like that. That challenge is fine. Invincible Great Saber Cats, not fine. Don't like. But at the same time, I mean, I like the defend the chest one. Well, really, because, you know, defend the chest is, you're not really changing what you're doing. It's like, I'm still killing the monsters. Now I just gotta make sure the monsters I kill are the ones that are about to hit the treasure chest, you know? And this mode, just, I gotta kill the monsters. And the Gold Golem mode, I gotta kill the monsters. Well, it just so happens I should probably kill the monster that's gonna kill me before it does. You know? The Invincible one's the only real one that's like, okay, now I gotta walk around. Hope I don't use my Coop de Grace on the Invincible Cat that just eats it. You know. Probably should not have done this because I need to be moving on to topic. Ah, we got 14 seconds. Yeah, that, and it's also not so bad to kill the metal slimes because the Coop de Grace kind of does it anyway. So that's kind of cool. So yeah. That is training mode. Okay, you're level... Oh man, my martial artist is the one that needs it. That's it. Darn it. That's okay. We'll get there. So yeah, that's that. Trials, which there's a new one. I'll be doing it after I talk about the game, though. I want to look at it, though, again. That's cool. Level 30 suggested. Got it. Okay. The shrines are cool. Shrines are really nice because, now these guys give really good memories. Oh, actually, speaking of memories, why don't we just look at the new one's memory? It doesn't give any? It only gives... Okay. That's fine. This is a great place to get memories. Really good memories. I've been getting this one a lot because it's really high power. Really high stats, I should say. And I do like the... I do like the double swords. But we're not there yet. This is just a good place. I think it gives the most experience outside of the training stages. So it's just a great place overall. This is definitely like end-game content here. This is supposed to be challenging. And I'm kind of glad that it doesn't use stamina in that regard. I mean, yes, you're limited to a different type of resource, but I mean, I can still do it as many times as I have keys, which are pretty easy to get. So no complaints here. I'm pretty happy with the and these were pretty fun ones. Each one's pretty uniquely challenging. Like the Glacial Golem has ice on the floor that you don't want to get frozen by. And actually, that's another thing too. I didn't point that out in the story mode, but the special rules on the hard stuff, those are actually kind of nice. I like those. There was a story one even that reduces your HP to 1, and you basically have to do it without getting touched. and that's pretty cool. You know, and then like just cool restraints outside of just being bullet sponges, if you will. Okay, let's move on to editing. This is where we really get into the meat. The meat? The bone. The bone of the game. This is where all of your effort goes towards building your characters. I don't really have complaints here, actually. I think this is pretty good. The fact that your characters can be any vocation, I love that. Because again, my favorite Dragon Quest games are the ones where you get to basically make your own characters. And yeah, so like this really hits home for me. And that's one of the best things about those games is like, yeah, buddy, you're a master of freaking everything. You just do it all, learn all the skills, just be the best, and that's fun, you know. So that's cool. I mean, obviously you see I haven't done that here. You know, it's closed beta, only gonna be a week, so like I can't. But I will definitely try when the full game's out and try to get everyone all maxed out, because that's so cool. But yeah, you know, here I guess we could talk about builds. Lineup's not something... I think you can choose your leader here. Yeah. I didn't really want to move them around. Okay, but yeah, you move, and then you can save party comps, and that's cool. I didn't use the feature, but it's cool. Wait, name? Yep, yeah, you can name it. And that's cool. And really glad, so let's get into a character. We'll get into Captain here. You know, and you see your first screen. That's all your equipment. Standard stuff, you know. But something I love in the bottom right, again, talking about making your own characters. Of course, Captain's a poor example. I keep swapping his sword out, so it keeps taking this off, but I do like I like to customize how they look, and I really like when games do this, that you can see the equipment they wear, but you can also go and just go equip something else, and that's what they look like. I feel like... Yeah, I don't want that. To me, if you're making a 3D RPG that allows multiple pieces of equipment to be worn, I feel like this is just necessary, you know. Well, first of all, I feel like it's necessary to show the equipment on the character in the first place. And then, I feel like, if you're really cool, you go the step farther like this, and you also let someone equip cosmetics on top of that. So you can have cool looking characters like this. That's probably my favorite one. So you can have these cool looking characters, you know, which I don't know, it won't let me. Because that's just super fun. Okay, that's fun. You can kind of see all the stats and everything affecting the character. Man, really gassy, I'm sorry. But yeah, and then, so, you know, you get your vocations. You get your memories. This is where memories really shine. They increase your stats a lot, and you can do your stuff with your build. So, for example, what I've been trying to do here is, like, I noticed the Queen's Whip here adds damage to your swords. You know? I was like, that's kind of cool. What if, you know, Rector here... Effects, there it is. You know, doubles your swords. I'm like, okay, that's really cool. Well, what if... there is a memory that lets you start with the sword. Okay, cool, awesome. And then in more light damage because you're equipped with the light weapon, and you're a mage, so cool. We've got a build here. And then we keep going. You know, he also has the double swords because turns out the whole party's gonna be built around this now. You know, give him some more damage. He needs more damage. You know, I got the plus 6%. That's cool. More crits. That's awesome too. You know, but what's really important about him, for grinding, I've been doing the Falcon Sword because it makes you move faster when you do your Coop Timer. But for the battles, I've been doing the Fire Sword because every time you kill an enemy, it shoots out projectiles towards other enemies. And I'm like, that's just hit them more. The more times you hit them, the more damage you do. It makes sense, you know, it's starting to get a build going here. And then that all leads to the priest over here, which has even more crit rate. This one I think is just there for the stats. This one might be could be better. It's plus 20% fire damage, but I don't know if that stacks with the other character's fire sword, the projectile shot. I don't know if those work together or not. But definitely, you know, the double swords here again, because we're a sword build, taking advantage of those swords to deal a bunch of damage, and taking advantage of the metal wing to bounce my projectile hits from my target to something adjacent to it, and just spread damage everywhere. It's so cool. I love it a lot. And the metal wing has the shortest cooldown Coop Timer, I believe, in the game right now. And it's just, man, that it just feels good. So it's cool. I like it. You know, and you can have all those things come together and get synergies between your characters and really pound out some powerful content. I think it's super fun. And she reached level 30. And then there's this too. Just another means to make your characters better and stronger. Which I will appreciate all of this. I think we're done with this screen. That's pretty much the party in a nutshell. Really fun stuff. So let's go to the workshop real quick. There's probably not much to say here. I still need to talk about movement. Not much to say here, really. Ascension takes extra copies of the thing and makes it better based on how many copies you've got. Okay, this screen here though, I will make the suggestion. Please let me just do all of these at once. Don't make me have to do this. I'll just show you. Don't make me do this. Which I'm going to do it right now, just to show you. Don't make me do this. Please let me just select multiple. I'm going to double check and make sure I'm not crazy. Okay. How do I not have multiples of those? There, I have a ton of these. Yeah, I'm not crazy. Let me select multiple, please. Otherwise, this is fun. You really need something to do with your duplicates, especially your, like, 3-star duplicates, you know. This all makes sense. You could keep them for cosmetic purposes, which that's always a cool option too, but you need something to do with your duplicates. Obviously, there's a sell button that's in development. That would also be something to do with duplicates that you just don't want to deal with. Like a lot of these I don't want to deal with. Yeah, that would be my only suggestion about this would be, I mean, everything else looks pretty good. You can organize it, yada yada. Just please let me select multiple when ascending. Also, another suggestion. After I ascend, it'd be nice if there's a third button that said upgrade. That would take me right to the upgrade screen, so I could go right from ascend to upgrade to maxing it out, you know. Which obviously I can't, but you get the point, you know. That'd be nice. And this is also where you upgrade your memories. I'm really glad this button exists. Cool. Not much else to say here. I will be interested to see what's going on here in the future, to find out what else I could do with memories. Like I said before, it's fun to collect them. These are the bread and butter of your builds, and it's really nice that they're free. That this is not part of the gacha. That you can just obtain these, given putting time into the game. You know. Not much else to say here, so I guess we'll just move on. There's also not much to say about the next screen, the swap shops. I mean, I think this is kind of just a given. Your events are going to have a currency, and you're going to want a place to spend those. I even have a few. This would be the place to do it. You know, not much to complain, nothing to complain about. This is actually really good stuff here, especially since the Gauntlet's already my favorite mode. And I mean, look at all the cool stuff. I could have more potions, actually. I mean, but look at all these resources that I could get my hands on, and don't have to grind for. Well, technically I did grind because I played the Gauntlet, but you get my point. You know, another way to obtain a ton of resources in the game, and which is always nice to do. I even have more keys I can get. That's cool. So yeah, Swap Shop, cool. That brings us to the Gacha. So it looks like you have guaranteed vouchers, you know, and then this is also where the primary place you spend your gems, and you also get tickets, which are, you know, you get these through events, you know. So another free currency to try to obtain, well, the important thing of the game, you know, the equipment. I saved up a few things for this too. So I do have a few suggestions here. Overall, it's pretty typical stuff. You can do it times 1, times 10. I usually just do times 10. You can hear my audio actually chopping now because this portion for some reason really kills my performance. I've crashed multiple times on that screen. No, let's get into some stuff. So, the stamp cards are great. I think this is a great addition, especially when you get to the second one, where you start just getting free 3 stars every time. And then, you know, free resources for continuing to participate with the game's main draw, which is, you know, the weapons and equipment. Those are all pretty standard. I will make a suggestion, though. So, a lot of my favorite mobile games, I guess. No, let's not put it that way. Okay, so we'll put it this way. This is the portion where people spend money. Okay, you know, you have to get more. Obviously, it's in development. To get more gems outside of all the free ones that you get, you actually have to spend real money to get that. You know, and the thing that I have a little bit of a gripe about is no matter how many times you do this, yes, you're guaranteed 3 stars every pull after your 10th, up to 20, right? And there's a few in here that are guaranteed 3-star weapon, you know, but you're not guaranteed on a specific. Okay, and you can notice when I go to my characters that they got really good weapons, right? But they don't. He does, but they don't have full sets of armor and stuff like that, right? Because there's no guarantee to get them. Okay, it's always random, and yes, I get that. You know, this is where you want people to spend the money. You know, if they're missing those things, they can spend more money, if you will. That's one way to take care of the problem, but not everyone can do that. And I think the solution's already here in the game built in. It's already here. It's right here. Okay. The only other one that I would say would be needed would be the guaranteed armor one. Okay, but we have it right here. We have the voucher. So, in my opinion, the solution would be quite elegant. You still do this, because I actually really like this system, because this is the direction of the solution. I just think it should be taken a step farther, and on this one specifically, on number 10 of Stamp Card 20, or even make a Volume 3 Stamp Card, right? And at the end of that one, put 10 guaranteed tickets right here, so you can do a guaranteed pull. right? Or even, so you can either do that here on stamp 10 of Volume 2, or Volume 3. Each stamp on Volume 3 is one guaranteed ticket, because it takes 10 total, right? So you still have to fill out Volume 3 completely before you get that guaranteed ticket. And if you're unlucky enough, that far unlucky, to not get what you, at least one of what you wanted by the time you get there, I say give it to them like that. You know? Because, I mean, and I understand the complaint against that might be that you're basically putting a cap on how much people will spend. And in some sense, yes, you are, you know. But at least there, you know, but with the cap there, I feel like, you know, like me personally in the past, I'm more willing to do that. I'm more willing to, like, okay, I know how much this could cost, so, you know, maybe I will. And it's like, this time I feel like that's worth it. Like, you know, let's say the Falcon Sword. Like, I personally really like the Falcon Sword, but we'll use it as an example. Or maybe the Metal Wing right there, because that's, like, the best weapon in this game. And I really like it, you know, and maybe to me, I could be like, you know, I see that I could guarantee it in, you know, 30 pulls, 30 times 10, you know, and however much that would cost monetarily, and then I can just judge it for myself and be like, yeah, you know, maybe that would be worth that much money. Obviously, we don't know how much that is, because the feature doesn't exist, but, you know, I'm more likely to do it, because it's like, okay, I know how much it is. Okay, let's just do it, you know, let's do it. Let's get that weapon now, so I could do that event, you know, let's just get it over with, you know, kind of deal. Or I could get lucky and get it. But, at least in that scenario, there doesn't exist a scenario where I just get unlucky, and I could pull 40 times and never see one of them, you know, and just feel bad. And then see all the people around me who got lucky with a ticket pull or something and got it, and then they get to do the event in the most efficient way possible, and I'm stuck because it's like, well, I'm never guaranteed to get it, you know. And maybe to just a little more, and then I'm done with this topic, but let's just say that ends up being like $50. Okay, $50 gets, it's probably gonna be more, it's probably gonna be like $150 to get 3 times 10 pulls. But let's just say it is that. Like, let's say it's $50 to get the 30,000 gems it would take to pull 10 times to complete one of those stamps. Okay. I'd be more likely to spend it if I knew that's all I had to spend. If you know, that makes sense. And without the absolute guarantee, it's more like a, okay, well, statistically, I could get it with the $150, but I might have to spend more to get it, and I just don't want to play that game, you know. Whereas if there was the guarantee, I could say, okay, I know at most I can spend $150, and I will end up with what I want. Maybe I get lucky and I don't spend that much, you know, that kind of deal. Excuse me. Okay, that's all I gotta say about the gacha. Otherwise, it's pretty typical stuff. Yeah, let's pull some. Let's hope my game doesn't crash. Oh, actually, no, that's not all with the gacha. That's why I wanted to pull one, because another suggestion that I have. Okay, there's a lot to watch here. So, you know, the robot going up. This also signifies kind of how good your pulls were, right? You see all your pulls come down, and it's like, okay, this is what I got, and then maybe one of them will upgrade like that. Okay, and then we see this. And now here we are, right? So, my suggestion here is that this automatically goes to the next pick, even if I don't touch it. You know what I mean? Or maybe maybe have an option, like a speed up option, not just the skip, because I see there's a skip and I can just see the results, right? And that's good. But maybe I want a little bit of the suspense, but I don't want to have to sit here and touch the screen every time to get that suspense, you know? Maybe add a little bit of a quick button up here that I could set, or maybe I could set that before I do the poll or something like that, that kind of automatically, like, it puts it up and then 1, 2, 3, next one, you know, you see what you got, it gives you time to see what you got, maybe 5, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then hits the next one, something like that, just a little thing, you know. We'll do one more. Luckily it hasn't crashed. Really, I think it's the cutscene on the banner that really is making it crash. Looks great though, but I don't know, again, it's a small complaint. A lot of these are really small complaints, but I'm putting them out there anyway. Oh, see, look at that shiny guy. Oh, that's the guaranteed one too, so. How fast can I go through this? Oh, cool. But yeah, just have a little autoplay through that. That'd be kind of cool. So that way, because otherwise, the only other option is to just skip it. And I don't want to skip it all, you know, and just see the results. Like, I kind of want to scroll through it a little bit. Just, I don't want to have to tap, tap, tap to do that, you know. It's a small thing. God, this has really just turned into me complaining about stuff. It's a good game, though. It's a good game. But yeah, oh, there's actually a timer up or something. Okay. So, oh yeah, this is a pretty nice screen. That lets you know kind of what buffs you already have, seeing that my build's working and I got this, you know. And, what I can obtain through the stage. It's cool. I like this. Let me know my objectives. Good stuff. Anyway. I think I'm going to end my review here of the game. I know I just complained a lot. But it's been a really fun experience. The gameplay loop's actually pretty entertaining. The auto battle's pretty good too, actually. I've used that a lot for for grinding stages, you know, 3 dozen times. You know, so no, yeah, auto battle's really good. The gameplay's fun. A lot of it's really just an itch to build characters, which, you know, really is the draw to RPGs and stuff, and the draw to the Dragon Quest series, really. All the fun builds you can make, and it's cool. This is a great addition to the Dragon Quest series, I feel like. I think I've covered everything. I guess thanks again to those at Square Enix for the opportunity to play the closed beta. I look forward to a solid release date and the release of the game, and maybe I'll pick it up. No, it's not a maybe. I will pick it up. There's no maybe. I will play it. I had a lot of fun playing it here. I probably won't go as hard as I did this week. Excuse me. I streamed every day, and I will stream tomorrow too. And I think tomorrow is the last day, or maybe the day after tomorrow is the last day. Anyway, I streamed a lot of it. I played a lot of it. I've lost sleep playing it. I won't do that again, but I will pick up the game. But yeah. So anyway, that'll be the end of the review.